Okay, and so we are on finance. Are you gonna bring up your whole finance crew so we get to?
Yep, they're gonna present it this year since.
Did you know that? They're all freaking out back there.
Yeah, they're like, oh, don't move.
I'd like to see a little more color in their face.
We already do village clerk?
Yep.
Wow, y'all
We
moved.
didn't get any.
She asked for a trip, Mayor.
No, oh,
Some other,
that's,
what?
we didn't get checked.
Jenny asked for a trip to Cancun as part of some training.
You said no? Yeah, you go right ahead. Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
So
You're not gonna have them do the presentation?
I'm gonna go over revenues first,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll come up and,
Oh, excellent.
because we have a lot of departments to go through, and I think we have till, when's lunch coming,
They
11:30?
usually get here at 11:30, don't they?
I gotta talk for an hour?
What page are we on?
Go to pay.
Finance.
Finance, it's all the way towards the back.
It's the last one.
Says 1 of 133.
Do you need help?
One more, I think.
Oh, we on general fund?
Oh, general fund. Okay. I don't know what I was looking for.
Did you not have this page?
Yeah, I've got it right here.
Oh, you pulled it out, okay.
Okay. So these are the general fund revenues. The property tax current and the delinquent is based on the valuations. So, right now, it looks like our property taxes are just, coming in as usual. So I'm not sure.
We don't understand it, do we?
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure because they had said we had lost a lot of property value. But, I don't know, we'll just have to see how it pans out. But that's based on a DFA regulation, you have to do it that way, and you even fill out supporting schedules. You can't deviate from those amounts, so those are true numbers. The other ones that look a little bit higher than budget, currently are all for the GRTs, and that's based on a 10-year average. So I did, post up to, I believe it was, 90, let's see. I didn't record the whole trend analysis that it was coming in at. I just recorded a portion of it. I did, let's see, I don't even remember, 90 or 95% of that trend value, so that's what it's coming out at. Our last two GRT distributions were just insane, so with the ongoing construction and stuff, it's gonna explode, I think, in the next year. However, I didn't project that, I just did based on a trend analysis, so.
Has any of that gotten refined as far as we sit here and talk about GRT and, oh, you know, we didn't get our payment at this point, or it came in late? Is that changing, or is it still kind of fluctuated from the state?
Yeah, so some months were here on the 20th.
Yep.
This year, it was right on the 16th. It just depends on, I'm not sure why it fluctuates so much.
And I talked to different ones, on their, reimbursements or distributions. They said the same thing. And when you call TRD and those guys, they don't give you nada.
And you don't get it, like, sometimes when we do have the paybacks, if you don't really notice it, kind of, and ask questions, there's no, like, letter that says, hey, in your distribution this year, you got a payback of blah, blah, blah. You have to physically go in and try to look at something's wrong and then ask in order to get information back. And sometimes it's not even, well, this was the amount, they'll just say yes or no, and then you have to try to kind of figure out what you think the payback is.
But Mayor and Councilors, Councilor Hooker, to your point, in Judy's executive summary on the monthlies, there is a breakout on if we got a payback or if we got that dispersion, and it separates it out. And so she'll actually do the initial percentage minus whatever that payback is, and it is down to that detail on the monthly.
Is dispersion a word?
Dispersion, yeah, I would think so. Well, that's, I'll look it up.
Maybe a new one. I had never heard dispersion. Have you? I've heard dispersed funding. I've had dispersion.
Dispersion is a negative comment toward character. I don't.
Oh, all right, well then maybe I better look it up, because I've used it like 4
Or
times.
dispersion.
Maybe that's
Dispersion
using the,
of
in the
funds.
economic climate for those who abscond with funds, that is dispersion.
I admire your venture into.
I'll look it up and correct
But no, I
myself.
think that's pretty cool.
Disbursement, I think.
Dis-
Go right ahead, George W.
Yes, sir.
Disbursement might be a better term, I think.
But she does do that breakout, and that percentage is separate, so.
Yeah, and if you got the report that she sent out, it breaks them down, but we still have that uncategorized or whatever that we haven't, did Allison get back with us?
Yes, I believe. Well, and I haven't done one of these in a long time, but on your CRS, you know how you used to have to, when you registered, you have to say what type of business you were
Right.
so they could categorize you? She was saying that she thinks that the business never categorized themselves. So since they don't have a industry code, they just lump them into unclassified. So it might be a construction, it might be.
Well, it sounds like it has to be related to
I
construction.
think so too,
For it to be
but
7 million.
that's what I think so too. But I'm gonna go back because I usually watch that unclassified, because usually if you have any ups or downs that you can't really see, it's usually in that category, and I don't remember that clicking in my head that was a really big amount of increase from the prior year, so.
And see, it's kind of funny because on the board, the self-insurance fund, one of the things that you deal with is businesses, I was just asking, their CRS number on workman's comp. Now, the village has really good workman's comp and all that, but business-wise, personally, your CRS number and your classification determines your risk.
Oh,
You know, if you're in construction, it's gonna be higher
Right.
than it is if you have a bookkeeping
right,
office.
yeah.
And so when that is classified, what type, that's why I was finding out that they would let that get by.
And
But that is not my problem.
that's what they do with, like, the wastewater treatment plant and solid waste are higher on our workman's comp than, say, Cheryl and HR, so.
Yeah.
And Mayor, dispersion is a word.
Is
It's the context related to statistics, data analysis, and/or audio equipment that refers to the spread or variation and difference in data points on patterns from continuing
Well,
dates.
sweet, I've learned a new word. I'm gonna use that
Should have
one.
been word of the week, word of the week there.
No, I'm all about it, and it's like dispersion.
And Judy, just so we might be clear, how did that relate to your comment?
Money, the dispersion.
Oh, all right. Did you get a new radio? That's
So no, I'm all about the new words, or words that are new to me. I'm like, wow, because I've
Like hokum?
hokum, yeah, but that's an old word.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just things like that. Like, wait a minute, am I the only one that heard that? Did I hear him right? Yeah, I said it yesterday, that yee. I've been raised around some hicks, and I never heard them go yee before like that. That was Greg's hat.
Oh,
Yeah, and he was all about yee. So anyway, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, that's okay. One of the other things because we're a city of less than 10,000, we do get a small cities assistance from tax and rev, so we get 90,000 a year additional, just for being a small city. So, on the next sheet, are just some, amounts for our fees. I did increase the short-term rental fee. That is the estimate we got from planning and zoning of the new fee structure and what they're gonna collect, so that was upped. And then, building permits, we left it at $350. And then the rest are just some recreation fees, that we budget. And then on the next piece, are just some other,
1 second.
Okay.
I'm sorry, on the building permits, that's a swag, the 350?
the building permits is a swag, yeah.
Because, we're waiving, didn't we waive a bunch of those?
We waived building permits related to anyone that's rebuilding for fire or floods. But we have not waived building fees for any new construction.
Okay.
And-
I'm sorry, Judy.
Go ahead.
Are we still waiving for fire?
Anything
and flood?
related to fire and flood.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that, I mean, I don't know if that's
And
a,
the last 2 years, in '23, we collected 366,000, and in '24, there was 380,000, and current year-to-date is already 287.
so you look like you're right on.
And
This all would be
Alex
additional.
looked at it, and he felt like it was the same.
Okay.
It was a
And you're
pretty good
starting to
number.
see new building construction permits.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that, we're still waiting.
Well, all this stuff down Meacham here, that's all new.
Oh, yeah.
That we've seen, so that's good, okay?
And then of course, it's just our charges for services, so those are just estimates. And then, currently, we are providing the subsidy to the street department, and this is on the, this is not the, transfers in are coming from admin fees on SGRT, the lodger's tax, and the enterprise fund, so that's where the transfers in come in. So any questions on revenues?
Going back real quick, and I know we've discussed it, but just so I'm still with you, corrections fees, we lost all that.
Yes. So,
The
in a
what?
sense, they're not charging it on any new citations. However, if they catch somebody and they have outstanding, whatever they're called.
Tickets, warrants?
Yeah, and if they pay a correction fee, they're still collecting the correction fee because it was prior to when it was, stopped. So we do still have like a couple $100 coming in.
So Susan, what it is whenever you write a citation, there's say it costs $50 for that citation, but it's broken out, 40 of it's for this, 5 of it's for this, and part of it was for our corrections fee that got paid, and the entity got that back, and we used to have quite a bit of money in it.
Yeah, I think I transferred back to the general fund was like about 89 or 90,000, so they did some work on the range.
Yep.
I can't remember exactly what they
Did
did.
some in the detention, or the
Yeah.
holding cells too.
Yeah, that's what they used the money on, so.
Thank you.
Mayor and council, I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time to bring this portion up through the revenue side on budget. You all had received the presentation from Economic Development on special districts and on other tools that were possible. In some discussion with Judy, with all of the construction that's about to take place and several of the projects that we have that are coming forward, we as staff will probably try and bring forward, with your direction, those special districts, those items, with everything that's going to happen over the course of the next couple of years, especially if we have reoccurring incidents and they would have to be rebuilt again. The amount of GRT, the amount of revenues that could be created in these special districts could significantly multiply and almost create a savings account for us in certain areas, or create a new revenue source for us to be able to do some of these things. So we will probably start bringing some of those back for your review and possibly action on those to see if those can be implemented. Everything from infrastructure to economic development to anything else, just because we're leaving money on the table.
Some of this is like user fees, like for the convention center and some of those things?
Yes, sir. Some of those are user fees.
Yep.
Some of those are actually like incremental components. So any business that occurs, let's say you lay over that special district in Midtown, anything that would come on top of that, and it's not increasing a tax. It's anything that would happen from the baseline previous year above that could be added into.
Increase in revenue.
Yes, could be added to another
By
pocket.
referendum or?
No, these are all items that can be implemented. Some of them go to the state level for implementation, but they don't need a local vote.
And what it is that you don't make any extra money unless you've improved revenue. And it's on that small portion.
Okay, so like if you improve 3%, then it's only on that 3%.
Yes.
Yes.
And that we would use to finance like the convention center or, and you could actually, that's what we were looking to do at the track, for the Rudo Sedan, city of, on, some of the work in the arena, the evacuation center, all of that. So that's how that plays out. And then he's talking about special taxing districts, other areas if you wanted to do improvements.
Yes, sir. And I think the main one that we'd probably want to try and bring back is with the meetings that we're having now, and the development is probably the airport. That would be significant, because right now we're at zero.
Yeah.
So, just offsetting the comments that Judy was making on revenues and what that would look like moving forward.
Mr. Mayor, Judy, I just had a question to help me understand. On the cannabis excise tax, is that a flat tax against all purchase, medical or non-medical? And second question is that in addition to a GRT for non-medical?
So the first one is based on their sales, and it's the, it's an excise tax of, I think it's like 12% or something like that. And then,
It's in addition.
yeah, and then it's in addition to GRT.
So that where it's waived for medical, then the GRT would kick in for the non-medical purchase?
Right.
Gotcha.
And then it's the same with alcohol. That's where we get all the DWI money,
Right.
is excise tax. That is on top of, and it's, they used to call them sin taxes, you know, cigarettes,
Oh, yeah.
booze.
Scent.
And so
The recreation.
cannabis.
Okay. And didn't there used to be one on, even on jewelry and upper-end products,
Possibly.
at least in Kansas? That's why I was curious, but thank you.
Judy remembers the recreation tax. 'cause
Yeah,
that
the
was- that
cigarette
was like a
tax, remember the cigarette tax?
And then the
used to
state-
be
now this
for
goes-
recreation, it was designated for recreation, that's all you
State
could
took
use
that
it
over,
on.
though. Yeah.
That was years ago,
Oh, yeah.
showing my age. I look at myself on the video screen and I can see my white hair and I'm like, oh man, I better make a call to my hairdresser.
Oh, man.
It's pretty.
So, any questions on revenues? So I'll take finance since I'm the one that did that one. So in finance, we have, 5 FTEs and 1 part-time. Shirley Prow is our part-timer. So, we just hired Madison and she's turning out to be good. She'll be good in a few more years, probably about 5 to 7. She'll be good.
Not like a puppy, she'll chew up shoes.
For the first
We
year.
can just get her through this
Yeah, if
first.
we can get her from from that stage, we'll be good. So we're excited with her.
This is
Yeah.
a lot to learn.
So even, I had been in, I was an auditor for Big Six in little companies, and when I got pulled into government, it still took me 4 years to even know what I was doing, so it's not a job that you can learn in a year. I mean, I can show somebody the mechanics, this is what you do, but to really grasp what you're doing, it's gonna take time, and that just
Yes.
comes with making mistakes
Yes?
and learning and trying to figure it out, so.
Well,
if
you've
we
got
can
a
give
good
them-
system set up. so-
Yeah, so if we can teach them the basics, they'll be all right. You'll keep going. So, I do, let's see, subscriptions and dues, I kept at the same. Postage, 4,500, that's for mailing out the checks. There's a typo on uniforms, it should be 400, but it says 40, so I need to change that. And then office supplies too, it says 500 and it should be 5,000. I must have got quick with the hands. 2,500 contractual. I usually set aside money because on our GEO bonds, we have to do arbitration reports to say that the money that we issue in debt, we're not just issuing it and not doing it on projects, we're just banking it.
Right.
So we have to compare the interest that we're earning on those issues is less than the actual rate that we issued at and stuff. So I never can remember what year it is, so I usually just keep 25 in there in case the study comes up. I've already contracted the audit with Chris Garner of Patillo, and it did go up $5,000, so the audit will be $55,000 this year.
And how many more years do we have with him?
You can go up to 10.
Well, because that was one of the things, a lot of these cities, they can't even get an auditor
No, they're,
to do
I
smaller.
believe,
Kidding.
they're allowing out-of-state auditors now. They're gonna let them
Yeah.
contract, see what happens there. So
We've got so many cities that are out of compliance, and it's because they can't get an auditor to come to their community.
Well, I mean,
And I know a lot of them are in,
you know,
Bad shape.
if they're in bad shape, you run that fine line between, having a material, responsibility for the financials, and if you have a material responsibility for the financials, then technically you can't audit. So are you gonna go in and be the accountant, or are you gonna be the auditor? And when you know it's in a,
Mass, you don't want to be the accountant.
yeah, you don't wanna be the accountant, because then it comes onto you, anything that happens or you don't find. So I could see where
Rather
an
not.
auditor looks at your books, and if your bank recs haven't been done in 5 years, are you really gonna spend some time on that client? No, you're gonna say, no, thank you, and you're gonna go to the next one, so,
Yeah.
you know. It is what it is, so, thank goodness, he always, seems to transfer when we need a switch, and he goes to a different agency, so that we can stay with him.
Oh, I know it.
So, he's been with, we started with him on,
With Axiom. That
Axiom.
was first, when I did the RFP in 2013, brought him in, so.
Yeah, and
Well,
he was
we
with
were with
Axiom.
the Asian guy for a while.
That was, he
That was
stayed.
after him,
Yes.
after Chris left.
Yes, we had him for a while, and Judy, I don't think that's an audit fine. No, I don't think so either. What was his name?
It was a Spanish name, but he was he was a Filipino.
Filipino.
Yeah, Filipino.
He, not,
Accounting and consulting too?
Prior to that.
Axiom, oh, wasn't it?
That was Axiom.
Axiom.
It was Axiom.
Jaime, was it Jaime?
Jaime, yes.
Jaime.
He was an IT
It
guy.
was like something like
He was an
that.
IT.
He was not,
He's an IT auditor.
Yes.
Yeah.
he owned a company, didn't he?
He was a partner,
Yeah.
and then when Chris left, Chris's clients kind of got shifted, and so we ended up with the IT guy, so.
Yeah.
And he was nice and
was- he
everything, but
was.
he was easy to get along.
He was like, oh, I love it down here, I'm gonna bring my family next time. I'm like, yeah, you should, you're
It's
gonna
not
go.
an audit, that's not a finding, is it? Oh, no.
That's a sweet 55,000 they make off of it also.
Well, but he goes through a lot
Oh, I
of
know.
different things, and she's already got lined out. What's he here, a week almost?
He's here usually a week in May, just doing our testing, the additional stuff for a state auditor that you usually don't have to do in an audit, but since state of New Mexico is different, you have to. And then he'll be out another week, but in the meantime, I'm sending him stuff in the meantime, so they're constantly working from May till December on us.
And we have to notify them if there's an aberrance, you
Yeah.
know, like we did with the courts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you're right, that's a lot of money.
yeah.
It helps with random, accounting questions through the year and.
And he does answer or gets back to you or emails you
Sure.
when you call, so, you know, I can call him on a Saturday after 5, whatever, and he'll return my call, so he's really good.
Plus, I think that certification as a CPA, I was told by Dan Austin once, that means can't pass again, so. It's very onerous,
Yes.
very onerous.
Travels and schools stayed the same, licenses and software. That is for my audit software and also for debt book, with the last change in the regulations. Before, you could just expense a lease. Now you have to figure out what is the value of the asset that you're renting, what are the present value of the payments that you're gonna make over the lease. And then you have to depreciate the asset and the lease payments. You have to book a loaned amount now. It's crazy, so I was doing it on a spreadsheet because understand it, but in order for people to take it over, we got software that does it for you. And it
Nice.
helps with writing the footnotes that they need. It also has a module for debt, because you have to write footnotes on that. So I'm trying to get it to where the girls can supply the auditor with the information that they need just in a system. So that is the other software that we got, so.
That's
So
ridiculous.
Judy, are you depreciating an asset, well, according, not you, but according to this statute, you're depreciating an asset that you truly don't own but just lease, is that right?
That's
It's a
amazing.
right, and you're calling it a right-to-use leased asset. So the Vector truck, the backhoes,
my
the copy
gosh.
machines, if they are long-term and they meet our materiality, then I have to record it. They're trying to make governmentals look like profit businesses. And so now governmental's having to do a lot of changes, which is stupid, but whatever. So, I think that's why we have a hard time getting people in finance, because you have a lot of different regulations that constantly change, and who wants to be always learning stuff, so it's easier
Right.
just
And that's
to.
always IRS?
No, this is, GASB, the Standards Board, Government Accounting
Who
Standards.
sets
Board.
that up?
Must be.
So, for-profits have FASB,
Right?
Yes,
and governmentals have GASB, and then they get together, and then they look at.
and it's great.
And they're
great
trying to get
Gatsby.
closer and closer together.
Financial unions.
That's when the audits went like from $4,000 to $30,000.
Yep.
Yeah, before on a government audit, you never had to book your streets, your culverts, or
No.
anything like that, and then they say, oh, let's do this, so then that came up and stuff, so it's always just something changing and stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
Now there's gonna be another change on compensated absences, that if somebody uses vacation leave that was accrued in June, but the pay period isn't paid till, July, but it was accrued in June, you're gonna have to make an adjustment for that. So they're just making it harder and harder for governments to actually understand what they're doing.
To function,
To
yeah.
function,
And that's
so-
what happens with these little municipalities.
Oh, absolutely.
They just get
But
overwhelmed.
then you got states that can't even, like
And
DHSEM, can't even get Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even get their stuff done right.
Like
that-
Mike said, we're held to higher standards than those that have oversight over
Yeah.
us. We're held to higher standards.
Damn it.
That's the way it works.
But it's the people that are making the rules that don't do it, that say, oh, this looks like a good idea. They don't realize the complications and
Would-
what goes on.
And that changes operations for municipalities.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
at some point, based on the comment Judy just made with what the change in Gatsby will be for vacation, that may tell you, rather than accruing it, just issue everything at the beginning of the year so that we know what's gonna happen, or look at a PPO program instead, because if we have to figure out when we issued it, when the person takes it, and it's gonna put 4 times more work on them than it will moving forward. And those are the things we have to work out from an administrative side that could take us months, because it might be a bigger issue on the back end.
But that's very good to know because, you know, being on the policy committee, you know, I might not think PTO is right. I might think, but if I knew the whole situation, that might not be the worst thing that could happen.
But then if you have PTO and you book it out the front of the year, can you still stipulate when it's approved to be taken?
I don't think.
I mean, I'm thinking about it, we don't even need to deal with that now, but I mean, I can see where,
No,
goes.
yeah.
wow, because I've got, in just my business, some of the things that we used to could do, or CPA says we can't do those anymore. Because we're hiring people part-time, could pay them contract labor with the description, and then they would come in and do their job, but because we have to be there a certain time of day,
Yeah, so when you tell them you have to be here at this time to this time and you have to do this and that, then they're technically not a contractor because they're your employee because you're directing them.
and then
There's a
used to
fine line.
IRS would come, just each one of my sections that generate different profit amounts, the different rates apply from the IRS, so we have to figure each one of them individually. Now then, if this big beautiful bill goes through and there's no tax on tips, oh, that's gonna, my office is just, they became Republicans overnight. They're like, please, go.
Well, they always said, like all my friends that were bartenders, they would have a tip book and then the tips. So that they would keep track of what they were actually getting, and then if the tips that they got on the W-2s was more, then they would say,
They
hey,
pocket that.
yeah, hey, that's not right, or they wouldn't say anything, so, I don't know.
But it's.
Crazy
It
things.
takes Don, my office manager, and those guys to just do payroll during the summer. It takes her so much time because there's not any software that we've been able to find that will do it
awful.
for you. And then the IRS people come in, they didn't even know how to do it. They come in to audit us and it's these two ladies, they're like, I don't know why we're doing that.
So that was finance. Any questions on finance? So the next one's, capital projects and purchasing, and Bianca and Christie did this one, so.
Awesome.
I'm gonna-
Oh, come on now. We've been dealing with Tularosa all this time. They can figure it out.
Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning.
Morning.
So I noticed that it says that we have 4 full-time and 1 part-time
Uh-huh.
for capital projects.
Oh, that was John. I forgot to do
Oh,
that,
okay.
John.
Okay.
So you're at 3?
Four.
4?
So-
No part-time?
No, we don't have a, that was Mr. Young.
And we do not have a capital projects manager right now.
Okay.
Okay, so ads and publications, we left the same, at 6,000. Subscriptions and dues, went up a little bit with our NMPPA and NIGP, and then, Levi has gotten another certification, and so now he'll have new dues.
Nice.
Uniforms and laundry, we left the same. General office supplies, left the same. Non-cap furniture, we did not do anything because we just got new computers for all of us, so we're all good, so we shouldn't have anything there.
All right.
Fuel, left at 3,000. Safety equipment, we did put in 1,000 there to make sure that, Bianca and Levi have their hard hats, all of their things that they need when they're out in the field. Move on to,
If I may, real quick, and I apologize, even
No,
though
go
I'm gonna
ahead.
do it anyway. Tell me exactly what you do then, and then we'll have Bianca do the same thing.
okay, I am the purchasing agent,
Okay.
and I am on a temporary assignment for customer service manager.
Okay,
She took over management of the front.
okay, very well. And Bianca?
And I'm the capital projects coordinator.
So for that, if we run in a big project or whatever, you're the one that then is overseeing what part of that?
I, right now, do a lot of the administrative side of it. So a lot of the record keeping, a lot of the oversight of making sure the contractors are invoicing correctly and that we're paying out correctly, all that stuff. Because of what I used to do as well, through Cloudcroft before coming here. I can also go do site visits and stuff like that for the wage decision interviews and stuff like that, making sure everybody is being paid fairly through the Davis-Bacon and all of that stuff as well.
Perfect.
She's attending a lot of the project meetings with the contractors, with the directors, everybody, so that.
That way
she's
there's
in the
clear
know.
lines of communications between
Yeah.
everybody, that we're all on the same page and we're getting all the same information.
Perfect.
Yep.
So when the job is completed, let's take 603 Meacham, when they're wanting to be paid for their homes. And that we make sure that they're eyes on inspected.
Yes. So there's
So-
been various times that I've gone out with Levi, and certain things that he may have not have picked up on, I'll pick up on.
Okay.
And I'll let him know, and then he formally addresses it that way since he is the project manager.
Okay, that's what we want to know, because Ron and I've driven around before and said, hey, look at that, or.
And we've
What's
done
that?
that in the homes when I've gone with them to do walkthroughs and stuff like that. Like, hey, that doesn't need to be there, or hey, did you notice this? This right here doesn't belong here, stuff like that, just as a secondary.
Yeah.
When he
That's
goes out there
great.
We
and stuff like
took
that.
Adam out one time because remember the steps they built? And I look at it and the entrance to the steps is about this wide. And I said, Adam, can you get through there? That was when he was bigger. And he's like, I said, how'd that pass? And we were getting ready to write a check. And so we went back out, the contractor opened it up to 36 inches. So I know I was expecting Levi to make sure that that was done, but that's you and Levi?
So, yeah, I'm more of a secondary to Levi. So, because I'm fairly new in this area as well, so I'm learning as well. So we bounce off of each other a lot. He'll come ask me a question, hey, in your experience, did you come across this? And then I'll tell him yay or nay, or if I did, then I'll give him my, how I proceeded with that, or try to give him more options as well. So I'm basically a backup.
And she also has she does the wage decisions
Yes.
through the Workforce Solution. Let me tell you, that's a tough,
It's
That's a
it's
tough
and we are
deal.
improving every day.
yes.
What do you mean,
You have to apply for the wage rates for any project over the $60,000, and she has to go online, and I finally had to call and get people we're getting you on the phone right now because she got it done, so let me tell you. That's a lot of work.
That they're paying their laborers, right?
Yes.
Just,
That
but
they're doing
main,
fair wages.
Charging us.
yes,
according
but
to the
making
contract.
sure that we're getting into the system to do that.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause they're not the fastest in getting that done, and she got it done, so.
Well, I apologize, but I just wanted,
No, I
because
appreciate
again,
that.
But we work as a team,
sure.
So-
We're all trying to cross-train as much as we can so that we're able to answer questions, being that there's one purchasing agent, one capital projects coordinator, one project manager. We want to all know what's going on. That way, when questions come up, we can answer them.
Well, right, because when I came here, it was just you and one other, I think, years ago, and now your team is building, and that's great, so, good to go, thank you.
Okay, so contractual services, we haven't used anything in years, so we left that zero. Telephone, $1,230 was down from the last one. Travel and schools, we did increase a little bit just because we are all in more groups, and so we have to
we're achieving
Go.
more certifications, we're trying to
Yes.
progress that way as well, so.
Beautiful, that's a
So
good one.
one cool thing, we'll be sending, some people out of, the finance division to, Connect, which is Tyler Sengard's, user conference in San Antonio. And it's an opportunity for you to go meet programmers, other people that use Tyler. They have classes on how to post a payment, how to do a journal entry, just tons of classes for a few days. So since they're new, Christy's going, and Robin and Andrew, so more people can understand Tyler and so I can pass some of the stuff I do on to other people and stuff.
Perfect.
So they leave in
May 11th through the 14th.
So the other component to this, and the part I really like on how they've been working, especially with the rest of the departments, is as they go to these Tyler conferences, they're also gonna start looking at different modules and knowing what the departments are needing and being a part of that, they'll be able to make comments from a finance standpoint onto, hey, you guys are doing X, you're doing this in the field, this is how it works together. So we're trying to create that seamless approach to business versus where they were pulling their hair out before, literally, it's saying, why are you giving me this? This didn't do X, Y, and Z. And so we're trying to create a more efficient and functional process.
To be able to use what we're paying for.
And possibly upgrade to something if we're missing it to make it easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To be able to know if we're missing it or not.
Licenses and fees, we left at $250 for just in case we don't have any equipment rentals. Vehicle maintenance, we kept at the $2,200. And then software maintenance, we actually dropped that one down to $2,500, so. That is all we have. Did y'all have any other questions?
Nope.
Thank
Oh,
you so
how many years
much.
till retirement?
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna depend on how long I live, I think.
Thank you for all you do. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Okay. IT.
Andrew's over at this, guys.
He is, and he wanted to be here.
What's he got, a problem over there?
Yes, they have a computer down that, I think he's factory resetting.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, and so,
I saw a MD guy here.
yes, John from Systems MD is also here. They're here on a bi-weekly basis, so every payroll week, they are here in town, and so that is working out tremendous to have, Andrew and the Systems MD tech, who's here every other week, working together. Andrew's constantly on the phone with, Lior or someone from Systems MD, getting guidance and help and assistance. Systems MD has been a great resource for him and also in working with them for his overall development. And so in succession planning, I've been working more and more to turn as much of this over to what Andrew can do, and even working on showing him what's budgeted where and what all is in this budget, and showing him all the different aspects of it, so that hopefully, in the years to come, he can basically start trying to take this whole portion over and create the budget and start working it and all these things and provide him guidance and growth. But Systems MD's been saying, okay, you need this certification for network management,
Yeah.
for security for our system. And so they've been very great in the guidance. He got his network certification for Office 365, one of the first steps that we need so that we can start working on training. While we have our new software, we need to be trained more for using it. It's like, we're saving a document, but I can't get to it because is it in OneDrive or is it
Yep.
on my desktop? Or is it saved on the server where I can't get to it when I'm at home? And so learning how to retrieve all these things and using them more efficiently is where we are.
You're about to
Oh,
pass out.
I've done, Ron's
Now I
not
feel
the.
guilty for calling him because I can't open an attachment on my email.
Yeah, no, and so, I mean, you know, we're at a point where, we have a problem with our software that it doesn't notify you that you need to change your password every 90 days. And so he's on vacation texting everybody, resetting their passwords, because he's our system admin for that. And it's like, we have an alternate, but that's not what Judy does, is reset the password. So it's like, but he can do it right from his phone. I'm like, Andrew, do you want a tablet? So it's, oh, no, I've got it. I'm like, okay. And so, he's just, he's doing a really great job, and so we're trying everything we can to promote his growth, promote his education, and do everything else.
Well, I was impressed when he got a haircut. Y'all remember that?
I know. And so now it's like, oh, it's getting long, you
He's a
know?
big boy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just had his 22nd birthday this week.
Yeah, yesterday.
He had what?
His 22nd
my
birthday this week.
Yesterday, the day before that.
So, and then we've got Madison, and I think you were introduced to her, and
Yeah.
she's our other new staff accountant too, so we've been bringing her up to speed just as fast, and, she's doing.
That's great. I'm
Yeah,
really
no,
happy
and
about
so, anyway, we've, fortunately, in our IT budget, for the most part, we actually had a lot of decreases. Salaries overall pretty much stayed the
How
same.
many people do we have in IT?
One is budgeted on IT.
One, just one.
Yeah, I do the oversight, I'm in finance, and, but Andrew's the only one budgeted out of IT. We did budget just a little more for, overtime, simply because, he is available, on the weekends and things like that, and you call, he'll answer, and, half the time it's like, Andrew, you got called in on the weekend? And he's like, oh, yeah, no big. And it's like,
I know.
put that in, Andrew.
Yeah, no,
So,
absolutely.
anyway, he does a really good job. We've got all those different things in there. Under utilities, this is where, I have budgeted for all the fiber. We started out when we initially did our fiber, build for 17 locations. We are now up to 25. With all of the properties, because it's like, oh, we didn't add this one, we didn't add that one. We got the Wingfield House, we got KRUI, we now have a new building down for the water plant and certain things. When we eventually move the fiber, when we eventually move the server down to Horton, we will actually be able to turn off one of our fiber lines, one of our big connections, because we've kind of got a duplication of services, but we've identified it, we know where it is. We also, we've got, I counted up this morning, I've got 43 different phone bills that we get on a monthly basis.
Well, and in saying that, was it the library that said that they had
6 phone lines.
6 phone
Yeah.
lines, and we get paid, and we get charged for all of those?
Yes.
For
we're
now.
good. For now. Hopefully with everything that's being done with our new phone system coming in, all of that's gonna get cleaned
Yeah,
up.
okay.
Everything should drop off to one bill. The bills that I have that aren't on that phone bill will be for DSL lines that we can't get fiber to. So it's like out at Grindstone, we can't get fiber out to right at the edge of the lake, where the dam house is and everything, without tearing up all the way to the parking lot to get there.
Yeah.
So, we have it all the way up to the water plant, but not all the way down to Grindstone. So we actually have a DSL line running, I guess, through telephone poles or something that way. So, we have a few other locations that have DSL and not fiber. But, you know, we'll identify those and see what switches we can make. We've got, at certain locations, they've had DSL, and we've been turning those locations off because it's like, why are you still running on DSL when we have fiber in your building? Well, I have these cameras here, and it's like, call the camera company, you know, talk to Michael at Mountain Alarm, we can switch those things around. And so then, okay, and then it's like, Windstream, you turn off this bill. And
Yeah.
so it's a lot to keep on top of for just this one thing.
And we didn't even touched on the voicemails. Because you've
Right.
been working on this long time. It's been a while back, people were leaving voicemails that were going to an old
Right.
line that we had got new phones and they had a new extension. And so it's been a mess to clean up.
So hopefully, what's gonna happen is once we do the switch over, we're gonna probably, last year we had CenturyLink on here for all these things. I went in right after the budget hearings were over, and I got ready to kill everything with CenturyLink, and I almost did that, except for we have 2 toll-free numbers. And so if you'll notice, you have CenturyLink on the Convention Center and for here at Village Hall, those are our 2 toll-free 800 numbers. And it was cheaper just to leave them on CenturyLink than it was to do anything else, so I just left them there. And everything else with CenturyLink was killed. I had one department call me because they had trouble with it. Once we got that fixed with Windstream, the issue was solved. And so we're gonna kill all the telephone lines, and Windstream will be on standby so that within 24 hours, if we have a problem, we'll bring that phone line back up.
So will we still have to have one hard line or analog line, whatever you want to call it?
We will have POTS line, plain old telephone service. We will have a couple of POTS.
Is that a real name?
That's the,
making
that
new
is the
words up?
true technical term. I was like, what is
Two
a
new things
POTS?
today.
What is a POTS line? Plain old telephone service.
Is POTS dispersive?
Could be. Could be. The attempt is, and I'm kind of like Greg Widener with this, the theory is that the industry wants to go away with all POTS lines because they're all copper, they're all failing, they're all deteriorating across the country. And they are wanting to make all the POTS lines service go through fiber. So then you run into the same issue. It's either you're gonna have a cut with the POTS line or you're gonna have a cut with the fiber line. Somewhere along the way. It's not if, it's when it's gonna happen. So they are attempting to make all those lines go over fiber service. And so Greg and I have been having these conversations because he's like, I've got to have a POTS, I've got to have this plain old telephone line. And I'm like, okay, but Greg, within 2 years, they are trying to go away from all of that. So we will have, as long as they will let us, we will have POTS line into certain locations.
Did we get all that fixed where we had new technology that was trying to talk to older technology that was trying to talk to new? We get all that fixed?
We
know.
We're working on it. We think we have.
Okay.
And it's not until we run into
So
an
is this some
issue.
of the issues that we were having at the police department?
Police department seems to be correct at the moment.
Because I saw
I haven't heard anything in
somebody on
months.
Facebook was saying that they couldn't get us on the phone.
That's the awful message on the phone when you call dispatch. So if you don't want to listen to everything, it's that long, awful message when you
And
call
so
in.
what do we got to do to change that?
We're going to get it reprogrammed with the new phone system coming in.
When is that?
And we're working on.
How hard is it to do it?
It should take 3 to 4 weeks to get everything
I
installed.
mean, right now, I can't, like on my deal on my phone, I can go up and redo a message. Can we just not do something like that?
Let me see what I can get with Andrew and see if we can't get something re-recorded.
Y'all know what I'm talking about? Call the police non-emergency line. And you go through it and it becomes an emergency by the time you,
Let me
Press one, press two.
see,
hello, thank you for calling the Rudo. So it sounds like me.
yeah.
We need somebody who talks a little more cadence,
Let me work on that. I know how to get in there and do it. I don't want to screw it up.
Okay.
There is a possibility I can get it fixed, but I don't want to mess it up in the,
I totally understand.
so. But anyway, we've got, Fuel, I've got 25,000 mainly in contingency in case something goes wrong. That is up a little more from last year, simply because other lines have gone down. Contractual services, I've got to put something in there. I didn't get my, this is my Systems MD contract.
Yeah, that's a good one, a big one, but it needs to be.
Yeah. And then, cell phone management, the cell phone for Andrew, I've got a little bit of training in there for him. We have $6,000 in training and development for, New Mexico Edge classes. We've been spending $5,000 a year out of that fund. New Mexico Edge is,
Y'all know what New Edge is?
No, she's,
okay, New Mexico Edge has training classes for across the village. And if you buy a class from them, an individual department person can register for one class, it's $75.
They're governmental classes, so they'll have classes on how to issue debt, they'll have
oh,
classes,
nice.
contract management, they'll have classes on, certified public, purchasing officer. They have pathways
Right.
Nice.
for different things that people can go and learn about governmental
Supervisors,
accounting and
leadership,
stuff.
there's numerous pathways.
Okay.
And it's not just finance. But almost all departments have a certified purchasing officer so that they go through the procurement part. All of the admins, we ask that they do this so that they understand more of the backside of what's going on. Anyway, we can purchase these classes in bulk. And so they are having a price increase next year instead of me. And so I can get 25 classes for $50 a class. Well, now they're going to be $60 a class. So
Tariffs, that's what's.
it's, nope, no tariffs involved, just a price increase. And so, they haven't raised their class prices since before COVID started. And, 2020 is when they started these online, and we've benefited from them, but
Sure.
I'll go in, purchase a bulk of classes, and then assign them to all the different departments, and, it works out great. Right now, Cade and Steve Minner both took the purchasing classes. Kelly and Madison both took them, so that we've got them all certified. It's like, what was it, 5, 6 classes, plus the test that they have to pay for? Yeah, and so, but each session would have been at $75 to them. With this, they paid $50 each.
So with the test, does that come out of the budget, or they have to personally pay for that?
No,
No, we've paid for this training.
Okay, because you said like they had to pay
They
for
took
it.
the classes and we're paying for the training. And so, and it benefits us when they get these.
it's not as much as police certifications or, CDL licenses or any of that kind of stuff, so.
Right, and so, anyway, this is a small price, and, it makes it really.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
benefits, and having it just go through since the IT budget gets partially billed out through admin fees, it makes it easier just to run it through that one department.
Yeah.
Can I back up on, you went through pretty quick. Do you know where my cell phone's being billed to?
Your cell phone is in legislative,
I
and
didn't see it.
you weren't in
I know you
here.
approved it, but when I was looking through it, because I didn't,
It's, I think they put in 520, but it's $505 a year,
oh, a year. Okay, I guess I missed it.
yeah.
Okay, I was just looking, because I didn't know if it was in your department.
No.
That's
We,
all I
we
needed.
bill all the cell phones to each individual department, and, Andrew was actually able to work out a deal with Verizon. We have numerous tablets in the field that are used with CityWorks or several different
Yep.
apps. And, be it the forestry department, water department, and they were being charged like $44 a month, and he got it down to 22, on all the tablets, so that saved us, so, and, he was able to work that out, so he did really good there. So anyway, on our software, we had, okay, this is where, okay, so I've got several software in here, I thought I had them changed and they didn't save. I'll go back in, or maybe I did. I've got several, let's see, oh, all of those are there. We've got Adobe licenses. I take care, if somebody has Adobe Acrobat and they do edits and things to the documents, used to, you could buy a license and you put it on your computer, it was paid for, it was done. Almost everything is now subscription-based.
Right.
And it's just ridiculous. So all of these things are now done through the IT department so that as long as we own the license, it's not machine-based and we can assign it to the individual, but then we can unassign it and reassign it to a new person.
Have you bought a new laptop lately? A good one? It's not as cheap, it's cheaper, but then to make it work, you gotta buy all the.
Right. So, and then there's all the spam filtering that goes with it. I take care of all the domain fees, so it's like, if we have CityWorks and it attaches to our website, and the website for ruidoso.nm.gov, all those things are called domains, we have domain fees for those. Dropbox is a file sharing program that we have licenses for. We have firewalls that are used in part of it. Insight licensing management is what we use with our wireless access points so that we can run statistics and things like that to see what kind of usage we're getting all across the village. One of our biggest expenses is the Office 365 licensing for any individual who has one. Tyler is our cloud software, which is approximately $97,000, which is,
Is that a year?
that's a year.
Oh, my God.
I
Look
know.
at Office 365, G375.
Gosh.
Yeah, Office 360, yeah, it's 75,000. And that's each individual office license runs with all the fees and everything else for an individual is close to overall about $475 per person per year.
So we spend almost $250,000 a year on just
Software.
softwares.
And
Just,
IT.
yeah, that's, yeah,
That
yeah,
ain't counting her.
yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, and so, and then you have to have the virus software to watch out, and, you know, stuff still kind of gets through once in a while, and it's like, at least wise, when we get an attachment you don't recognize, we can forward it straight to Systems MD and they'll scan it for us. And,
Right.
you know, but the majority of it's picked up in a spam filtering software. So, then we have, switch replacement for, if we have a switch go out or something, I try and budget for something in there, and
How many
wireless.
switches we got? Just dozens?
We've probably got 25, you know, the majority
My
of them are
switch-
new.
And are they encrypted switches or?
They have all sorts of encryption
Mine went
and,
out and it was $1,000.
yeah, there's all sorts of encryption and, safety measures on them. We have different server components and it's crazy. They're even identified to the point that, Leor's kind of like, okay, Andrew, Robin, in the event of an emergency or fire where the building could burn, you're gonna take this one. And it's like, these are the blades you're gonna grab and pull out of the file server to go. Because while everything's backed up to the cloud, there's certain things that you need to be able to still plug back in and just to really get you up and going.
Yeah.
Quicker. Yeah.
Quicker, yeah. And so,
Man,
but the one larger capital item that we're looking at is a Chevy Traverse, potentially for Andrew, because he will be moving down to Horton. So he's he's using an old Tahoe that came from the PD.
well, that was by design, but now he's a 22-year-old.
Now he's a 22-year-old.
So we got all that.
We've gone through the
Bed
bumper
shit.
car stage.
Well, it doesn't help when he drives up in that little,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rise Rocket with a horror on the back of it. It's like,
But we recognize that during the fire, he needs a unit that he'll be able to put equipment into, transport safely.
Does it have four-wheel drive?
It's all-wheel drive.
yeah, that's a
And-
good one.
And, but he needs a unit that he'll be able to transport equipment in and get around, and
Is it gonna be white?
it's gonna be white, it's white.
Good.
It's a good one.
And then, there is no capital hardware other than that, because we were able to, we took our Tyler software to the cloud this past year, we took our 365 to the cloud this past year.
We updated all the servers.
Then we updated and all the servers are new, with the help of grants and working with New Mexico Municipal League through, insurance claims, but software-wise, we're really good. The big long-term plan is to figure out, replacement cycles going forward so that we're not replacing everything all at one time anymore. Because we've done that for every server project we've done, and that's not the way to do it.
No, and when they're not cheap.
No, and it's gonna happen, but the benefit of moving software to the cloud is that it reduces your overall server cost, in-house going forward. Because,
Judy, what was the final on the cloud base for Tyler and for 365? What was the total cost on that?
175,000 almost.
For both of them?
That we used on one of the legislators.
Yeah, we used it on the grant. I was able to use it on that grant, so.
so,
Okay.
and, it's looking, and going to connect, there's a couple of software components that could help with budgeting and different things, that we'll look at and bring back to Ron, Michael, and Judy, saying, these could work if we're gonna continue with Tyler software, going forward, that could benefit. We're gonna look at, a couple of programs. Andrew's gonna go and check out, they've got, InterGov or MyCivic, there's two different programs that could work as alternatives to some software that we currently use, CityWorks, that, could be an option, and we're gonna see if maybe they would, but they would already integrate with Tyler software, so.
They will?
They're a Tyler product.
products.
They're a Tyler product.
Okay.
And so, maybe they'll have everything that our people want here, maybe they won't. But at least wise, we'll get some exposure to them, get a demo of it. Andrew's gonna take a tablet so he can see what the tablet version looks like, because that's part of the problem with the CityWorks is we've never gotten the tablet version to work right. And, so if we can see what it is.
So does it integrate with your financial package?
It's all the same package.
So
It's
it's all
all-
Tyler? Okay.
So, I've got a list of questions already, and one of the nice things is I'll be able to meet with some people one-on-one to say, okay, what about this, and this, and
When you go to Senate, and, yeah.
So in your licensing, the ones that we're all getting, I know just my personal experience, they give you a deal to sign up now because it's going to, go up by 50% next year. So do we have the same options there too? Do they let you know?
They let us know, but they generally give us 120 or 180 days option out when they figure this all out. And so I'll get with Lucas DeBolt, who is our regular account rep, and we're already pretty well locked in. We have 2 more years on what we agreed on at certain pricing, so they can add on and say, this is what it would be if we added on this, and to give certain projections or things, and I'll bring them back to see how, if they want to be integrated or not, moving forward with the goal of making it user-friendly and as easy as possible for people to use.
I just wonder if it would be advantageous to have Andrew or somebody, because how many times do we go to hook up a Zoom in one of those rooms and somebody's changed something, and then we're all sitting around
Waiting for somebody to come over
waiting for
and fix
him.
it.
And he comes over and does a, magic dance and he's gone and it works. So I wonder if having him do a class with Gina or Yvonne or y'all, or even me sat in and just, how he was unplugging them. Because it's a lot to drag him away, and if he's going to be at the Horton all the time, because usually he was just upstairs in the attic.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think if we could do that, it'd save a lot of the headaches for him.
Yep.
Well, we can do that as one of our Friday finance trainings that we're
Yeah.
doing once a month now.
Because before we call him and he was upstairs, but with him moving,
He'll still actually have a workstation upstairs so that if we need him over here so many hours
But I mean,
a day-
just
Yeah,
like on the
yeah.
ones in the executive and ours, it's just, I don't know what he's doing or what to look for. And we know how to change the speakers and all that, but still sometimes he has to do something else.
Right, so,
Just simple stuff.
anyway.
Well,
And-
thank you so much. You and Andrew both are just great to work with, and I appreciate making us look good when we look so silly.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, Robin, will the badging on the truck be included with the, or on the vehicle on the Traverse for Andrew?
The what?
The badging, you know, the decals. Is he gonna be IT1 then, or?
Yeah, yeah.
IT1, yeah, there,
We might put like a, what is it, a medical thing on the side?
there.
Well, I was thinking too, playing in nature's, playing in nature's playground, ... in the cloud.
In the cloud. There we go. We'll get with Carrie, that's fun. All right,
Thanks, Robin.
thank you.
So the next department is special activities. This is just a catch-all. This is where the insurance of the part of the general fund comes out at, $457,000. I've also budgeted $500,000 for matches on grants. So if somebody is applying for a grant and then they find out they have a match, I can pull from here to match them. The next page are our transfers out. These are the subsidies and our debt service payments. Subsidy to the streets is 2.4 million. Our revenue bonds are 455,000, and then the subsidy to the airport is at 762,000, and then to the radio station at 141,000.
See,
And then,
those are two that next year I expect to see the radio station generating some revenue that'll offset those expenses, and then we're still gonna have a lot of work to do at the airport.
yes. Any questions on the general fund? The next fund is Fund 220, which is the magistrate court. This is the fund that collects the rental on the court building, 425,000, and then we pay out utilities, and then the debt service at 370,000. Probably in a year, yes, like clockwork, we get an ACH. In the next couple years, remember when we first issued the building and the first loan, we had to go back a second time? Well, we never adjusted the rates in the agreement for the second loan. The reason it hasn't been a problem is because we had so much money left over from the construction that they're just applying the construction proceeds to the debt service payments for the second loan. But within the next year, year or so, we're gonna have to go back to AOC and say we need to adjust the schedules. So just to put it on the radar.
So we pay for all the janitorial?
Yeah, it's built into rent.
And one of the rental prices, they have a deposit fund for janitorial and maintenance that is a combination added to the rent, to the debt service payment. And so we have monies that are available.
Okay, yeah.
And there's also something in there about refurbishing, is it 5 years or something?
Something like that.
Furniture, fixtures.
Yeah, that we upgrade them, that we can change them out.
Okay.
So that's the magistrate court, and then the next one is just the debt service on the GRT bonds at 455,000, and that's fund number 403. And then,
And what do we still have on the GRT?
it's one outstanding bond.
Yeah, which one is it?
This was from 2013, I believe, or 2012. We're still
But
paying.
it's not the wastewater treatment
No,
plant.
no, no.
And
This
it's-
was, I believe, for the fire building or some, fire or
The fire
police building.
station?
Or
No,
police
that
building.
was-
That's what it says in the,
Fire building?
let me see what it says.
Station number 1?
I'm not exactly sure. 'cause-
Could be station number 1, because that was, well, yes, it could be, but that doesn't seem.
They get built.
I don't know, I can't remember when it got
I thought
built.
it was a little earlier, 2012.
Yeah, when that got built was before I got here.
Unless there was a remodel to one of the buildings, maybe?
I don't know. And how much is it for?
It's 400,000, and I think we have like 5 more years on that.
Might
I'll
be
look at it.
Station Two.
I'll double check on that
Well, we did
one.
something to Upper Canyon. We built onto that and we,
But that was way after these were issued.
it was,
This was included in one of the, I guess when Mark Valenzuela or somebody came on as the financial advisor, he refunded and did a lot of.
refinance.
Refinanced and did all kinds of
Oh,
stuff.
so it could be part of the refinancing. Oh, okay, when we went,
And it might have been a bond that was
Yeah,
a long
we-
time ago before then, but it got
yeah,
reissued.
that we did, because we saved, what was it, $2 million on payments or something like that? Yeah, okay, I remember now.
And then the other debt service fund is the NMFA loans. We only have the 2 loans now. The fire department finally paid off. Is it Trucks Plus or Plus Trucks?
Fire Trucks Plus,
Fire
Mayor.
Trucks Plus. We paid it off
And
this
Joe.
year.
The one that was being made.
The one
yeah.
they sent the truck in pieces from
Oh,
California.
yeah.
So that one has been paid off. So the only 2 loans in the NMFA right now are the Convention Center remodel and the Magistrate Court loans. So those are the 2 payments.
In Mayor and Council, I still can't believe that the Finance Authority you would send the check first. You would never do that.
No,
The money to the vendor first, and then you wait on your truck for how many years?
oh my God.
You wait until you get the truck back. That didn't make any sense, but.
And then the last debt service fund are our GEO bonds. This is based on the calculation that, on the valuations from last November, $1 million set aside for the GEO bonds. And then, of course, all the debt service principal and interest payments. We've paid off the 2014, the first bond issue. We paid it off this year, so it's been a good cycling program, so. And then, the next fund is the Housing Enterprise. This is the Building Fund, 507. I didn't know on the rollover from at the end of June this year. I usually try to set aside $1 million, and I just wanted to make sure that council wants to try to save another $1 million and put it in this fund to build on another project or what we wanted to do. And this is on page 113 of 133. This is where we've built 1114 out of this fund by putting
Right.
money into it. We've
And
done
then
603, yeah. And we're currently using the last $1 million that we have on 603, plus we just got the grant. So we'll have some monies of that $1 million, so I didn't know if we wanted to set aside after we close out fiscal year '25, try to hold out another $1 million from the general fund.
Yeah, we
to-
do,
To have a,
because you got the grant money for the fencing and everything.
That's the additional $1 million.
Yeah. So yes, I think we all agree.
so that'll be in the rollover from 2025,
So the rent,
is in a different fund, is in the next fund.
okay, and that goes for making sure that we have good working conditions and maintenance and
So when,
To build that, we can use that revenue for the
build the
million
million
or
again.
to keep building so that we have funding.
so, the next thing that we probably need to do is, I know when we were setting rental prices for the 1114, we were, setting aside so much for replacement,
R&R.
and something else. I remember there was a spreadsheet, you might probably have it. We probably need to look at this, and for the rents that we've been receiving, probably need to calculate and figure out how much is the R&R and transfer it out of here so that we have that money to replace the mobile homes and
Where did the
15 ye-
fencing funds come from? In that R&R or
No, that was,
additional?
that was additional on the funding we received from the New Mexico,
Finance Authority?
yes, the Mortgage Finance Authority.
Boy, and that's
But,
nice.
but we've had some, say with the Rock House, it was an old home, we had to redo the sewer, we've had just some maintenance on the older properties, so.
And right now, that's been just, they just been chopping it off our rents that are currently coming in, but we probably need to calculate how much we've collected for R&R. And I know there were some other,
Yep.
for new construction and different things that we had set aside in the,
Do you get us a report showing the rents and if they're all paid on time? Are they always paid on time?
I don't get it. I show what's coming in. I don't know if it's on time or not. They're usually at the first of the month, so I never can tell if that's everybody or not. I just see what the statement is as far as the money coming in.
Imagine people would get behind on that.
Yeah, Kylie will send us and we'll ask her for somebody, and they had somebody that was in the rears on some of their rent and then they paid up on it, so we'll have to make sure. Might have been Mike here.
When I was traveling back and forth, I think I missed like a month and then had to catch up.
With his high water bill also.
Well, we get a check like clockwork, at least 16,000 from all the rentals a month.
Yeah.
And that's even after deducting for repairs and maintenance and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then the next fund, which is 508, is the actual rental. So we have professional services, some building maintenance in there, and utilities. And then, of course, Fund 600 just holds our self-insurance fund premiums at $917,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Workers' comp is at 7,900, and then the other insurances includes property, auto, police, volunteer, all the other general liability stuff, so. Any questions?
The mayor's on the self-insurance board also, so.
Oh, okay.
And and it's really amazing. I can remember when I was in business here, first got started, workman's comp was high.
Oh, yeah,
And it's-
statewide it was.
yeah,
we had
it's
like
come-
one provider on it.
Yeah. So it's come way down and we make it up on there, but the property's what's getting ready to.
Oh, yeah. It went up with the
Oh, yeah.
claims and everything else.
So, I had just one question. I know on P and Z's, budget, we had some conversations about the 15,000 for the mailing. Is that something that we wanted to cut out and go and advertise the postcards through the newsletter? Or do you want me to leave the 15,000 in the budget for the mailing? Was my only question.
Let us,
Sorry, what did you,
Where I brought up about, Alex was wanting to send out the 2 semi-annual mailers.
oh, and we
I
were
said, hey,
talking
why
about,
can't we
yeah.
Put it in that. That's her question again.
Do we have to
wanna keep
change
that
the
money or
ordinance?
Move it somewhere else.
Well, see, that was the thing. I didn't think the ordinance, they were saying a postcard is what they said, but does it have to be a physical postcard? Or can we just add it to the mailer like Hooker said?
so Mayor and Council, we did send an email to Zach. I'll confirm what his response will be. If he says it has to be what we place in the ordinance, we'll have to go that route. If it's not a substantial change and it's just the notification part of it, we'll follow up on that from a cost perspective, and we can probably just add it to the mailer as a notification and go from there.
Okay.
So I'll have the final budget within the next couple of days, so you'll see the actual approval of the budget on the May 12th budget.
Judy, thank you so much
Sure.
for all that you do, and also all of the wonderful staff. We appreciate everything you do.
It,
Glad you got staff now.
I know, right? It really helped, Ron, me, and a lot of people from finance met with all the departments first and did some initial cuts and stuff, so that really helped to get this rolling. So I think we're gonna continue that next year too.
And Mayor and Council, we're working on a resolution for the credit cards, doing a fee. So it has to be a resolution, has to be approved by DFA. But I did text the manager from Roswell, and they don't have it in place, but they just had a meeting last week also, and they're gonna implement that fee too. They're going at 2.8% is what they're gonna do, so but we'll have a resolution, and Judy will get with DFA on that, so.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay.
The other thing I think that helped, and the reason it went faster this time, is because we have that sheet that starts up, says, here's requests, here's needs. and we can address those, and instead of going line by line, but it's like, if nothing changed, let's leave it as nothing changed.
Yeah, this was
Roll on.
very good.
You know,
Are y'all okay with the capital outlay things that we said we're gonna move to the current year? Because those will come back, as contracts, whether with the vendor, whoever we're gonna buy from, so you'll see that again. So, we're purchasing, let's see,
You had quite a few that was moving to,
the command post trailer, the Parks and Rec building roof, the tilt trailer for Parks and Rec, restuccoing the convention center, the AC unit, and the moving the wall for streets. And that was it. So those are all good to go in current year.
yeah.
On the stuccoing of the convention center, are they just gonna put a new color code on it, or what are they actually going to do? As far as the,
oh, there's Adam.
Adam's coming down, but it's my understanding that they're gonna redo it with the new elastomeric paint component so that it helps seals. One of the issues that we had identified with some of the leaking was the roof needed to be replaced, but because there's impacts to the actual stucco itself, the elastomeric paint needed to be redone.
Those birds love that elastomeric stuff.
There's a wood paper with it too that's really messing, getting some, a lot of work out.
And in addition to the command post trailer, we are actually also buying EMS tent to have for Xterra.
Oh, nice.
And then we'll get to keep that.
Yes,
and
sir.
use it for whatever.
Multiple events, and then if there's any triage issues necessary throughout evacuation, throughout the disaster response, then we'll be able to use it for that as well.
The only other thing we might have to buy is a boat for fire. He's trying to get a grant.
I thought we already had a boat.
I
We
believe-
do, and we're looking to try and get another one. Yep.
It won't be like the boat they
It would
got.
be designed differently.
So he's trying to get a grant for that. If not, we'll purchase it. And there's enough in general fund reserves to do it. That way we'll have it for Xterra and we'll have it for Ironman for all the next 3 years.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
And so what was the final answer on Hooker's question about the mail out?
I'm gonna get you an answer, I'll get Judy an answer to see if we can actually do the postcards, or if it's not a substantial change and it's just 2 notifications, and we can include it in the mail out instead.
And add it to the water bill, and, you know, I don't know why we have to have a specific one. If we really highlight it in the monthly mailer, and then, our TIO or marketing puts it out on social media, and
And Mayor, the reason that had come up was during the initial committee hearings, there was discussion and, in some of the community engagement hearings, individuals had said, give us something separate, not everything included in documents. That's why it had been a specific mailer, because they said, we lose our, half the people said, we see a village paper and we get it and toss it.
guess what,
or-
this is gonna be village too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So what they were saying is, if you could send us something different, that's where all of that had come
And
from.
those people also don't even have a clue what it costs to do it.
Yes, sir.
So I would say that, we know they need to be notified, but
Yeah, having it on your newsletter for so many months, I mean, that's a lot of, it's going out to a lot.
so hopefully that we can just add it to the mailer and
Monday mornings with the mayor.
Monday mornings with the mayor on 99.1.
We'll have Darren there to explain that.
Yeah.
No, I don't get to come in there. Everybody else has been there, but I haven't. And I got it.
He'll get on there and
I got the face.
and here's the soap king
I got the
himself. Rub-a-dub-dub.
That's right.
Think of me when you're in the tub.
We like it when you're dirty.
Because I'm just a hooker.
That's it.
Get you some floaties too.
Holy,
Okay, lunch is it lunch here?
I think so, I heard.
Well, usually Yvonne texts me.
And,
they're
that's
putting
all
it
we had
together now.
for the budget, so we are,
you, Judy. Thank you, staff.
Yes.
Yeah.
thanks to everybody, it's a team effort, all the department heads and support staff, it's a lot.
Yes, it is.
Judy, you make it seem so seamless, and I know it isn't.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't see her pulling her hair.
I know, that's why I can see all these streaks right here. I'm like, man, there wasn't that bad last meeting.
I was sitting down once in the, I can't remember what meeting, I looked, I go, who's that with no hair?
That guy really bald,
They're still getting set up, so give them a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Who is it today?
K-Bob's.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, we are. Are you gonna adjourn?
Is everything done? This meeting